Welcome back to Celtic State of Mind, or even a Celtic State of Mind. It's half-time at Dens Park. It's Dundee 1, Celtic 1. I'm Paul John Dykes, and I'm joined by Chris McElwain, Kevin McCluskey and Sean Connolly for the half-time bulletin. And we always say it, Kevin, you and I, don't panic. It's one each, but it's disappointing because, I mean, Dundee didn't really create anything. Kasper Schmeichel had barely touched the ball, and they get that goal back quite near to the half-time whistle. And that's despite us being in complete control of the game, creating some really decent chances and being a goal up. So it's pretty disappointing, isn't it? But let's not panic.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the message. Don't panic. We've sat and done many a game where we've played a lot worse than that in the first 45 minutes and gone and drawn and come out in the second half and won the game. I actually think we've played pretty well in that first 45 minutes. Dominated most of it, with lots of the possession. Could have been 3-0 up before Dundee get their goal because we've had the chances. What have I got? Idah,
Bernardo.
And Bernardo, that was the other one I was missing it. That's it. Idah and Bernardo missing the chances. Could have been 3 up. Had a couple of shaky moments at the back with Austin Trusty not quite dealing with some high balls. But other than that, I think we were always in control, really. Midfield's done pretty well. Kyogo, I think he's been excellent again, coming in from that kind of inside right position, not quite right winger, not quite centre forward. He's looked dangerous. He's linked the play up very well. And for the majority of that half, we were pretty much in control. Give Dundee credit though, because they've never given up through that 45 minutes. I watched the game last week against Rangers, and it was kind of similar at times, where they didn't do very much, but every time they broke forward, they looked a threat. Simon Murray puts himself about and causes problems against any defence that he's up against, just because he's that kind of a player. He'll put himself in a difficult position. And I really like Adewumi, the boy that scored the goal. I thought he was excellent last week, and he's had one chance to do something tonight, and he scored. For me, it's a brilliant goal. It's a great counter-attack from Dundee. Got to say it. And he takes the finish really well, the way that he uses AJ as a bit of a shield just to guide it in. But that's one moment that they've had in 45 minutes. Other than that, I think we've been fairly much in control. So the message would be, don't panic. Just go out, play a very similar kind of second half. If possible, raise the tempo a little bit. But we know that we've created 3 clear goal-scoring opportunities in that so far. We can do it again. And there's no point to really panic or get too kind of hot under the collar about the end to that half.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And we will focus on the positives because up until that point, there were plenty. I think in the first half, it was comfortable. We'll start off with a goal. I'll come to you. Chris McEwen, fantastic header. He starts the move. He plays it to Taylor. It's a pinpoint precision cross. And he finishes it really, really well. And at that point, you're thinking, there's the early goal. If we get another, and it looked as though we would, then it's kind of easy street in the second half and you're looking forward to it. But I wanted to point out McEwen and Taylor's contribution in the first half because I think they've been great, and it's easy to forget the positive when you've got that wee punch in the gut near the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think, to focus on the 2 players, I think they've combined they've contributed superbly actually in this match. I think Taylor's having one of his best games, and actually the way we played in the first half, very much in the front foot. I think you see the best of a player like Greg Taylor there, taking responsibility, looking for the ball, tidy with his feet, beating players and actually putting in some really good deliveries. And the delivery for the cross, the spot in the cross for McEwen was superb. But let's take nothing away for the goal. That is a bloody good header from McEwen to direct it from that position, at pace, keep it down and get it across the goal and into the net was superb. And he, interestingly enough, I think both Ryan Pearce from Acsom and Chris Sutton almost simultaneously at the same time, one said it in the group chat, one said it in commentary. Every time McEwen plays, he looks capable of making an impact. So, and I think, tonight's just more evidence of that. He is one of these kind of guys who will come up with some big moments, and it's great to see his Celtic career going so well. Overall, I thought the team played well. I could see that they were doing the kind of horseshoe again, but actually I thought the difference tonight, it was a lot more overlapping, which was good. And actually, to go back to one of the players we spoke about there, Greg Taylor, I think it's been a mark of his performance that he has put more crosses in from that left-hand side than Yang has. He is overlapped. He's taking responsibility. He's playing more like an out-and-out winger tonight than Yang is on that left-hand side. And sadly, I think that unfortunately does, to put a wee negative slant on it, it highlights actually just how poor a game Yang is having there. But we'll try and keep it positive for the moment. I think there's been a lot of good performances. Kyogo, again, really heavily involved. Some of his distribution has been absolutely superb, some great spots. Idah is getting himself into good positions, needs to be braver. He had that one chance that Kyogo put in, and I thought, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to use that word that we don't really like to use, but I thought he bottled it out of that chance. I thought, and that's easy for me to say sitting here in my nice cosy office on my comfy chair, but I thought he saw a giant of a goalkeeper heading towards him and pulled out of that. So I'd like to have seen him show a wee bit more bravery, a wee bit more hunger there. We spoke about Kenny having a bit of hunger. I wonder if he'd have, shirked that chance. But you're right, no need to panic. I think overall we played really well, not been too much to be concerned with. Wee bit concerning that one good break from Dundee and they put the ball in the net, but I think we've got goals in this team. However, if I were to make one suggestion, Hook Yang. Get him off. It's not happening.
It's not happening, and I'm going to come to you as well, Sean. Great for you to join us from Australia, and a lot of the comments are coming through, and I'm going to bring them up because it's about your opinions on the first half performance. We try not to go in two studs up, but I'm of the same view as Chris. I'm looking at Yang. I don't see anything there. In terms of the standard that you need to be a winger at Celtic, creating chances, never mind assisting a goal here or there. He's not brave enough. There was one point where you're looking at him thinking, oh, well done, you've kept it in. Then he ran it out. He actually kept the ball in and it didn't look likely that he would. And then, he ran the ball out of play. He's having a poor first half. I think the issue that we've got at the moment is options, though, because you look on the bench and you're thinking, right, we've got Palmer. I mean, listen, if Palmer is going to be a shining light, I think you're in trouble. So it's not the biggest problem in the first half, but in terms of individual performances, he's not been anywhere near it for me, Sean.
He does this thing, and he did it again tonight, I've noticed, where he takes the man on early, and if he doesn't get the better of the fullback he's up against, then he basically just stops trying to take the man on after that. And that happened tonight in the 9th minute. He takes on Mulligan. Mulligan just outmuscles him, takes possession off him, and he's just not really tried much after that, to be honest. He's scared to take the man on. And that seems to happen every week. Against Ross County, we switched him in the second half, and first chance he had the beating of Brown, and he had a good, what everyone deemed as a good performance thereafter, despite still lacking that final ball. I was hoping that we'd be quite comfortable tonight and we wouldn't have to turn to Kuhn on the bench, but it feels like he's going to have to contribute in the second half. And obviously, Idah's getting it tight, and for you mentioned bottling out that chance. Obviously, he's not been scoring a lot of goals lately, but his all-round play has been pretty good recently, but not tonight. He's putting himself up for it tonight, but not just missing chances, which he has been consistently doing in this month, but he's not been given that fulcrum. He's not been linking up play like he has been in recent games. So it does feel like he's having a real rough night, and he does look a bit like rattled in his face as well. He doesn't look like he's quite onto it tonight. So I'm concerned about that one, and concerned about the lack of options we've got to adjust that.
Yeah, the big thing is the options. You mentioned there Kuhn on the bench, and there was a moment where you look at Hatate, Kuhn and Engels and you think, right, we're going to see them at some point in the second half. Listen, I'm bringing this up and it's not a pile-on. This is what I'm getting in the comments in terms of Idah. I'm a big Idah fan. I'm going to try and fight his corner as much as I can here. But this is the type of comment that we're getting through. David Boyle, long-time contributor to the comment section, really toothless up front today. I'm running low on patience for Idah. I'm getting a lot of that type of comment coming through, and I'm going to bring a few of them up, and then I think we can discuss it. We've got Jock Sporring coming in, very similar. My confidence in Idah is slowly ebbing away, and Jock's been commenting on the stream for a long time. Idah and Yang, says John McCabe, 2 men short. Talking about the first half, I'm starting to lose patience with Idah, says Chilpill. Mick, any Idah fan still on here? Yes, me. I'm going to raise my left hand and say, I think he's having a murder game tonight. He's not having a great game. but he doesn't turn into a bad player overnight, Kevin, right? And until fairly recently, in terms of his goal-scoring return, he'd scored goals in the Champions League this season. He was getting in amongst the goals. It's a recent run of form, I think, where he's gone off the boil. And you know what? We were talking before the game about sometimes, let's get back to the basics here. There's a striker who can score goals. Why not just play him? Rather than looking at all the nuances as to why he can't fit into a very specific system. Adam Idah has not become a bad player overnight. I've got loads of comments coming in, and I'm disagreeing. I'm saying, listen, tonight he's having a bad game. I cannot deny it. You know, he's failed the eye test tonight. I don't think he was brave enough with that chance. Tremendous passing from AJ, by the way. That is your bread and butter as a striker. Put that in the net. Make the effort. Forget the goalies there. Go through the goalkeeper. Make sure you score. I'm not trying to.
Kyogo. The cross was Kyogo.
Was it Kyogo? Apologies. Yeah, it was a tremendous cross, actually. Brilliant from the right-hand side. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, look, I would be crazy to try and dispute the fact that he's had a poor first half, but I'm not prepared to write him off yet, Kev. Adam Idah. I am not. You're smiling. You're going to disagree. On you go.
I'm going to disagree. I just smiled because he used the phrase "write him off." It's one of those ones you get no, I won't disagree with you on that one because I think he is a good player. I've raised my doubts and concerns about him before as to whether I think he's good enough for the level to be right now our number one centre forward. But I still think he's a good player. I know I'm not allowed to because I've been told off for this in the comments before, but I'll go back to last season and I'll go his goal contributions in the second half of last season were a big part in us winning a double. So he wasn't a bad player then when he was scoring goals. He's not a bad player now because he's going through a bit of a dry spell. But the word that's coming up in a lot of the comments that were coming through is confidence. So the fans seemingly, or the commenters, are losing confidence in him. He's playing like a player that's low in confidence, and I think that's why he shirks out of the challenge with the keeper when he's through with a goal. A confident centre forward, like you say, he's putting everything behind that. He's getting a foot on that ball, and he's going through the keeper afterwards once he's connected and put the ball in the back of the net. I think if Idah was to get a goal, it would make a big difference to him, and you'd see a difference in his play. Because all strikers, no matter what the system is, no matter whether they're the Giroud type who's not supposed to score, all strikers want to score goals. And when you go through a spell when you're not, it does affect them. So I think that word confidence is huge. I think he's 1-2 goals away from being a player that we will have confidence in again and that can go on and lead the line for us. So, no, sorry to disappoint you, Paul, but I won't disagree with you on it. I think there is a player in Idah. We just need to cope that out of him.
You're not disappointing me, mate. You brought up Giroud in both the streams tonight, and we know why. We know why you're doing it. This is Adam Idah's 30th game tonight this season. It's his 30th appearance. He scored 8 goals and he's had 1 assist. Last season, 19 appearances, 9 goals, 2 assists. In terms of goals and assists per minute, it's dropped dramatically from 73 minutes right down to 128. Sean rightly pointed out that the ball that was played by Kyogo. Isn't that the issue, Chris? We've got 2 centre forwards and one of them's playing the ball, Idah. You're expecting Idah to put that one away. Kyogo, how many times have we seen him darting in there? You know, it was the kind of ball that, the type of ball that Leo Labada used to love. You know, he would go sit at the front or the back post, just get that wee dink and it's in. The confidence thing, this is the thing. It's just a test of your character. You're a centre forward at Celtic. We're winning games. We've only lost a couple of games this season, one of them to Borussia Dortmund. Yep. So it still shows you there, going back to the very basics of what it takes to be a striker, scoring goals, right? Because we spoke about that. You know, Brendan Rodgers actually mentioned it during the week. I heard it in one of his press conferences. He doesn't want his striker to score 40 goals. It sounds bizarre, but he said, I don't need a striker to score 40 goals.
Yeah, he wants it spread across.
So surely Idah, if he goes 3 or 4 games, shouldn't really be concerned about that.
No, I think the biggest issue, and I appreciate the players are on the park, so I'll try and make this quick, but the biggest issue with Idah at the moment is that he misses that chance, and then because we haven't, extended our lead, Dundee run up the other side and score, and it makes it look twice as bad, that miss, because it's not only cost us extending our lead, it's actually, we've given up the lead because we've not taken our chances. Idah, for me, his contribution has to be around about building the play around that kind of target man role and allowing players to come in and score goals. But at the same time, if you're playing up there, you're the number 9 position, and you get that kind of service, you really have to put it in. And listen, we've seen Kyogo missing loads of those type of chances this season as well. This is not a pile on Idah. Idah will put the ball in the back of the net if he gets more of those chances. But he's also entitled to have a bad game. And I think the first half, he's had a bit of a bad game. Yang's had a bit of a bad game. I'm not sure I'd point to anyone else having a particularly bad game, but there's 45 minutes to go. Hopefully he'll get the chance to put it right. Get a couple of goals or an assist or, both. But, and hopefully all will be forgiven, because that's what strikers feed on. They feed on the confidence that goals bring. So let's see if he gets a few and gets the confidence back up.
They absolutely do. You're right. And let's go back to the action then, and we'll revisit this conversation at full time. Thank you once again for the contributions of Chris McAway and Kevin McCluskey and Sean Connolly. Join us at full time on A Celtic State of Mind.
Yeah.